Well, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those from the greater SCP Foundation. Welcome to another coffee break here at Site 42, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. Good to see you all in the chat. Cyrus, Junior Researcher Sally, Vox, good to see you guys. Thank you for being members. Liam, Stomp, and Astro Draco, thank you for being in the chat, just for being you. I'm currently setting up the slow mode to give Desk some ample backup in the moderation side of things. And give us a little jaunty tune in the backdrop. And so in case this is your first stream with us, as always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. On this coffee break, this is an office hours. I'm here to answer your questions, educate you about the SCP Foundation, whether that be its staff, its anomalies, the groups of interest we compete with, and the greater universe, as well as, very often, hypothetical containment procedures for non-SCP entities. They are anomalous, but they are not SCPs, unless they are on the SCP Wiki, otherwise known as SkipNet. The SCP-themed hangout is today going to be lit. Wish us luck. Good luck. Dr. Sherman, why is SCP-6101 in my office? What the redacted do I do? Send help now. I'm calling a data expunged blood splatter sound. Well, you must have done something pretty rough, America, to piss off the strongest SCP. SCP-6101 is, of course, the strongest SCP. But it is also known that SCP-6101 is an agent of justice and heroism. So if you got your ass kicked by it, you deserved it. What is my opinion on SCP-4666? Hideous monstrosity. I wish we could put that thing in a box, but frickin' teleporters, you feel me? So this coffee break is expected to last between 40 and 50 minutes. Just as a heads up for those keeping time. Building Block, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an espresso on your way past the commissary. I'm enjoying my espresso lemonade for said coffee break. Hello, doctor, what are we testing today? Well, we're certainly testing my patience because that SCP teaser that I told you guys about yesterday for SCP Gallionic is only 15 seconds long. And so we need more people to go see that channel and hype them up. That way, they release more of the dang animes. So if you haven't been to SOEM Studios here on YouTube, go check them out. They've got a teaser for their upcoming SCP anime. And we want to make sure to support them, so they drop the damn thing already. Robin, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a croissant on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, so what do I do if my cat starts walking sideways and eating my family and friends? Thanks in advance. Well, the sideways thing, I'm not so worried about, but the whole eating family and friends thing is a bit trifling. I would suggest turning a hamper over top of the cat to contain it. That would be my starting place. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to Make sure to grab yourself a latte on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, your cup matches your shirt. Very pleasing aesthetic. Ah, yes, we've got a good color swirl going. Summer weather is in season, so the colors are coming out. The wild styles are happening. Dr. Sherman, I swear I'll have that report to you by Sunday. Apologies for the delays, Dr. Memories. We'll get on it. We don't have all day. Is there a Nokia phone SCP? I mean, those bricks were pretty intense. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's check the database. SCP Nokia. Uh, 145 is an Alcatel branded model phone. Yes, SCP-6369 is a Nokia 3310 cellular phone. Although this picture is not of a cellular phone, this picture is of a rat wearing an adorable crocheted hat. So I'm a little confused. I think we need to dig deeper. It is a mobile phone with a single number saved in the contact list. While the phone can be used to dial other numbers, none of the calls will connect. The contact listed in 6369 is named Rat Lost and Found. This agency's employees are hereafter referred to as 6369-A. Initiating a call to this contact connects the caller with an automated selection system, which will ask a series of questions inquiring about a lost personal possession. The caller is prompted to provide information on which item they need found, where they believe they may have lost it, and of what form of payment will be given for its recovery. Of note, certain conditions are required for 6369-A services to be available. If the conditions are not met, SCP-6369 will not provide questions and will instead play a pre-recorded message apologizing for the inconvenience before ending the call. It seems like you have to actually be the owner of the lost item. It has to be lost instead of intentionally hidden. You can't cheat this. It has to be lost in the last 2 years. It can't weigh more than 5 kilograms. The area the lost item is present is devoid of rodent traps. The area that the lost item is present in is devoid of predator-like animals. The caller has a payment ready before placing the call. The -A personnel are not currently active in an alternate location, and they only work on weekdays. If conditions are met, then one of these rats will appear outside a building within 30 minutes, and they will find your item. The largest noted response involves 60 rats accompanied by 10 vacuums in order to search a school building. Quite an interesting anomaly. So, to answer your question, long story short, too late, yes, there is a Nokia phone, and it only has one saved number, and it can call rats who find your lost artifacts. Oh, quick reminder for stakeout streams when I'm not in the lab. Because I do not have my full terminal, I cannot see donations under $5. Clearly, I have to go to a separate menu. So if I happen to miss your donation or take some time to get to it, I will find it. I will do my best. You will not be left behind. So, dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Frappuccino on your way past the commissary. What do we do if someone sues a cover company? Yeah, if one of our fronts gets sued, then we have to have the employees of that front hire legal aid and go through the system as normal. We can't do anything that would raise cover of this being anything other than a legitimate business. That being said, sometimes we can do some behind the scenes shenaniganery and chicanery to get the lawsuit dismissed. And usually that includes disappearing the claimants. We like to use that as a last resort. Why not guitar? Thank you for an immensely generous donation. Hot diggity dang. What I want you to do, besides going to the commissary and just get whatever you want, is I want you to run up to the Site 42 gymnasium. And I want you to go to the 3rd floor. Now I know, you're gonna tell me, Dr. Sherman, the gymnasium is only 2 floors, and you're right, for anyone except for you today. You're gonna go to the 3rd floor. That elevator button will be there, but not if you bring anyone else with you. Go alone. Once you get to the 3rd floor, you are going to take the kinetoglyphs class, and you are going to learn the kinetoglyph for invulnerability. That is your present for today. Get to work. I know it's more of a task than it is a gift, but trust me, complete invulnerability because you know some sick dance moves. Who doesn't want to learn the safety dance? Come on. And your question here was, hope things are well. They are. SCP-999 was once again found on the shop floor. Who is luring it there? It has to be luring 999 there at this point. So we decided to put it to use, reaching for small bolts and stuff, surprisingly efficient at it. That's not shocking. It's a slime. It can squeeze into tight places. Can we request a test on 999's puzzle-solving skills? Might be worth looking into. You know? I think that is a very interesting experiment to run. Your request is granted. Fill out the proper paperwork and requisition forms, and we'll get right on that. Pancake Dragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cappuccino on your way past the commissary. It's super early where I am, almost 6 in the morning. Wow, why are you awake? I am an afternoon, evening person. I don't do mornings. Mostly because I work at night, so that would be difficult. But, hello, welcome to being alive. Have you seen the SCP Drawfee episodes I recommended? I don't like coffee, I like choco milk. Well then skip the cappuccino and get yourself a chalky milk. Unfortunately, I have not had the time to watch the Drawfees. I have them in my watch later on YouTube for future watching. Dr. Sherman, can us at Lobotomy Corporation have some SRAs? We won't blackmail the O5 if you do that. Agent Angela, I'm going to have to say no. Lobotomy Corporation made their own mess. They can clean it up. The overseers have made this very clear that they are not afraid of your threats. So, good luck. Is a message an SCP? Well, Intern Hamad, yes, there are many messages that can be SCPs. These are usually termed as memetic or cognitohazards, info hazards, that sort of ephemera categorization. And so yes, there are definitely messages out there that are anomalous, for sure. Oh, Mentally Lost, it's been a while. Good to see you again. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a scone on your way past the commissary. Hey Doc, need permission to test on that thing, oh boy, as you call it. Trying to find out what else it fears other than me. Well, I mean, I guess at this point, have at it. There's supposedly 3 or 4 of them that frequent the chat nowadays. The multiverse is imploding, and this is the reward we get for it? Great. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I made it. By the way, I know the mech wings and tail I got. Turns out it's from me being a fragment of the broken god. The fragment attached to my heart as a baby. Well, well. Well, Alvari, be careful with that, because now you are person of interest number 1 on the list of the church, because they want to assemble the broken god, and that piece of you is going to look pretty ripe for the picking. So, be cautious. Intern Elswick, I am doing well. I'm sorry to hear you are in the infirmary again. Take care. Is a country an SCP? Well, yes, the fictional country of Samothrace is an SCP. You don't want to hear about that thing that went down in Samothrace, believe me. Although they did make a very good SCP live action episode about that anomaly at the Lot 1 Studios YouTube channel. It's called, the miniseries is called Redacted. And they did 5 or 6 episodes, I think. The first one they opened was Mallow, because of course that's going to be very popular. But the Samothrace episode is a sleeper hit. That one's real good. Isn't Massachusetts an SCP? Yes, Brian, Massachusetts is an SCP, for sure, because Massachusetts doesn't exist. But, SCP, what number is that again? It's in the 4000s. For more details on that, look up SCP-4006. 4006 codename Massachusetts. How would you contain Doomguy? Well, intern Soybean, I don't think it would be actually that difficult because A, there's no demons around for it to be angry and fight, and B, it has a sarcophagus it gets contained in. I mean, it's the instructions for containment are right there. It's not that difficult. Administrator, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I believe I might have an anomaly for you to take a look at when you're free after the stream, if that's all right. Out of character, it's a link to a YouTube short that I think you'd like. Well, I guess I don't tag it on Twitter or something. I don't know how you're going to get me a link, but that is easily investigating anomalies. That's what I do after all. Does the ADHD leg bounce classify as an anomalous action? I don't know if you can see my shirt bumping here because I'm literally doing that thing. If it is, then we need to figure that thing out stat. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Are there any anomalous computers that could handle rendering an entire Minecraft world within render distance? I've got to be honest, you've gone a little bit over my technical knowledge in that question. I am not familiar with the limitations of computers when it comes to how much Minecraft they can render. On top of which, I do not know what render distance even means. I mean, a distance of rendering makes sense linguistically, but I don't know the capabilities of a normal computer versus an anomalous computer for that. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for being a level 1 researcher with us for 1 month. We appreciate your service and your membership. Are there any Missouri SCP sites or SCPs? Let's have a look at the database. As soon as my datapad figures out how to function. Please. SCP Missouri. 4577 is a town that had about 20% of its recently dead citizens come back to life spontaneously in the town of Redacted, Missouri. So yeah, there is SCP-4577. Just be like, I am in Missouri. Hey, Dr. Sherman, will SCP-3008-1 aggro 096 because 3008-1 has no face? Common mistake, the IKEA employees are actually -2s, not -1s. I made that mistake a lot back in the old days, so it's sensible, but yes, they are -2s. Meanwhile, I do not believe they would activate 096 because I do not think that because of their eyelessness, I don't think they perceive the world in that way. Therefore, they don't know what 096's face is. At least that's the common hypothesis. We're obviously not going to test it. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. First test done. That thing is afraid of grapes. That's quite the peculiar fear, I'll give you that. Can I turn into an SCP somehow? Well, many people do accidentally or purposefully develop anomalies while working at the Foundation. It's just a fact of life. When you deal with the unpredictable may occur. But we do not actively try to give people anomalies most of the time. Real quick, while we are still dealing with the hype of this and trying to help them out, remember that we do have that teaser for some studios. I want to make sure to give them all the hype possible. That way they get more people seeing what they're doing over there. And we get to see this frickin' SCP anime sooner than later. We've already given them a 50% bump in subscribers since yesterday, so Mobile Task Force Psi-42, I expect you to keep doing your job to go watch this trailer over there and give them some hype. No, Deltarune lore videos, go away. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm waiting for later. So, the trailer, the teaser. I do not know what galleonic means. That is a new word to me. But go to some studios and check that out. Give them a sub, give them a comment. Tell them Dr. Sherman sent you and that Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed Signal Boosters, is on the case. Now, back to my regularly programmed music. Ah, the desk is here. As is Alki. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Dr. Sherman, is there any parallel reality where SCP-999 is evil? If yes, any notable ones? Or is the orange slimy creature pure in every reality? I have never seen a story / universe where 999 was a bad guy. That is, I've never seen it done. Not to say it couldn't be done. There are infinite universes and infinite canons. The pataphysical layers we're dealing with are numerous. So I wouldn't be shocked if it exists and I just haven't seen it. Or maybe there's just one lodestone of reality where SCP-999 is always a pure snowflake in a sea of garbage. I don't know what to draw anymore. Cry, cry, cry. Junior Researcher Sally, I highly recommend you draw... Draw a team dealing with SCP-8320, 700 Million Wizards. Go check out 700 Million Wizards by Radiger, one of the greats of the SCP community, and then draw the task force handling a wizard. I think that would be comical in your cute art style. Eris Cupido, thank you for your first and second rapid fire donations to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a chimichanga on your way past the commissary. Dear everyone, thank God, whichever your chosen religions decides is true godhood. In my case, I'm worshiping 5320 for this, the infinite fish that just goes on forever. May we find the head or the tail. We are protected by the SCP Foundation. As for Dr. Sherman, I need an in-depth opinion of yours on SCP-137. Oh, that was a double donation, literally, as in the same thing went through twice, I see. Well, thank you for your accidental generosity, I guess. And you asked about 137. Let me pull that up on the data pad real quick. Oh, okay. At first glance, some sort of princess character of type. What are we dealing with here? 137, object class Euclid. 137 is to be kept in a locked room with a hairbrush and posters depicting a country meadow to keep it placid and tractable. 137 is to be fed 3 meals a day. Under no circumstances are any toys allowed to come within 500 meters of 137. Description. 137 is an entity with the ability to possess a toy, gaining the physical properties, size, and shape of whatever it represents. For example, a teddy bear will become an actual bear and behave accordingly. 137 cannot possess any miscellaneous object, only toys. The observed range of 137's possessive effect is 250 meters, but until further testing has been accomplished, 137 is assumed to have a maximum range of 500 meters from its position. 137 was first brought to Foundation attention after a series of bizarre deaths and incidents involving children. The deaths were determined to be too random to be a serial killer, and Foundation agents were sent in to investigate. It was located after an interview with a young girl suffering from PTSD after a naked man had appeared in her bedroom. It was encountered in the same neighborhood in the form of a gorilla. 137 was then tracked and finally captured when it possessed a stuffed pony doll in Redacted, and was chased into the nearby wilderness. 137 was tranquilized and extracted to Site 19 by helicopter. Testing has shown that 137 takes on the characteristics of the toy it possesses, but only as a child might perceive it. A toy soldier becomes a violent, well-armed man. A toy gun fires bullets. A toy lion attacks and kills humans. However, it lacks true intelligence. It shows no signs of long-term memory, nor any capacity for learning or abstract thinking. And there is an experiment log because, God, we did so many experiment logs in the old days, huh? It is currently inhabiting a princess doll. So that is why it was a princess. See, okay, it makes sense. And it does not respond to questioning well. Okay. So, an in-depth opinion on that? I mean, I certainly think it's a novel anomaly, that's for sure. I don't know of any other anomaly that does anything quite like that. It is a very interesting facet of the SCP universe, of how many out there anomalies are brought up by our overseeing narrator authors in the pataphysical layer above us. It turned into an F-16 at one point. It turned into a Ferrari. It turned into a saltwater crocodile from an alligator-shaped keychain fob. So interesting. It was not a toy, it was a keychain, but it still counted. It turned into an action figure, turned into a police officer, a stuffed panda turned into a real panda. Okay, and it turned into a My Little Pony. Of course it did. I guess I apologize. I don't really have any deep thoughts on this anomaly, except it's rather dangerous, and it's a good thing we got it under control. The amount of deaths already involved in the public was worrying. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. Hey, Doc, do we have any anomalous beans? I need some. I mean, it depends on the beans. We're not going to waste any beanstalk beans for that, right? I mean, those are a little valuable. Hey, Dr. Sherman, would SCP-682 be related to a Wendigo? I don't imagine so. There's a whole lot of, I mean, the Wendigo entity is not normally a giant lizard. That's my first thing that they're unrelated. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Eris Cupido, thank you for donating again. Jiminy sakes, and a very generous one this time. Holy shit. Okay. All right, so Eris Cupido, going back to Why Not Guitar, and on top of this, Aether with an off-the-top rope, crazy generous donation. Listen. At the end of shift tonight, when you guys are all done with work, head to my office. We're gonna have a little social gathering. And there, I will reveal to you one secret about the Foundation. that I should not tell anyone else in this stream. Don't miss it. All right, let me start from Eris Cupido. Dr. Sherman, I'd like to hear from your heart everything about your favorite SCP, everything about it, your absolute favorite. Much love. Oh boy. So I have to pick one of my favorites as an absolute. That's hard. I have 8 favorites. And that's cutting some off because otherwise the list would get too long. Like 2337, Dr. Spanko deserves to be on the list, but isn't. I've been thinking about adding that anomaly back onto the list. But, All right, for this answer today, I'm gonna pick one of them, and I'm gonna pick SCP-3999. Because first of all, I love surreal metatext. House of Leaves, if you haven't read it, try it. The first time I tried to read it, I bounced off of it because the prose was very dense and eclectic, and I just couldn't get into it at the start. But Nick Nocturne over at Nightmind had a challenge to everyone read House of Leaves, and I was like, all right, well, if my buddy Nick says so. And so I went into it deep dive style. Oh, that's a good book. It's crazy, it's wild, it's out there. But all the text changing shape and colors and doing weird things and story branches going in weird places and the way it mirrors the book, I love that stuff. And so 3999 to me is just like that. It is very metatextual. I did a breakdown of SCP-3999 in the early days of this channel. And if you want to hear me gush about 3999 for a while, you can go listen to that. Because there's so many Easter eggs and references. And of course that video is outdated because the author Lord Stonefish has updated it since then. So I need to do a second version. But just in that one article, this reality bending entity is torturing researcher Talaran by, the standard murdering end of friends and family and Talaran themselves. And then it starts shoving Talaran into random SCPs. SCPs by Stonefish, the author, and SCPs by other authors. Then it starts getting metatextual. It shoves Talaran into Harry Potter for a little bit. It shoves It shoves Talaran into the aristocrats joke. It goes everywhere. And then at the end, it just hits you with this punch of emotionality about the stresses of writing for this goddamn creative writing community. It's so good. It has all this metatextualness and surreality and out there stuff going on, and it's all in service to this stress of writer's block. Oh my God, it's so good. So that is holy cow. If I had to pick one SCP to be my top favorite, it's probably 3999. Take a drink every time I said metatextual in that rant, because it was a lot, I know. All right, now, where was I here? Aether. Hey, Dr. Sherman, just wanted to let you know that Abel has broken containment again, and I got shoved into its cell to act as bait for recontainment. Also, I brought more sweets in and left them in the commissary for all the staff. Oh, well, that last part is very kind, and I'm sure the staff will appreciate it. Okay, you're acting as bait for Abel's recontainment. Good luck. Make sure to close the sarcophagus if you get out. That's not a very survivable situation. Oh. Jet, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Dr. Sherman, how come we haven't caught Detective Void yet? Well, intern Real Proib, I believe Detective Void has escaped our grasp because he left the community, because he decided for some reason that he wanted to stop making horror content for children. Which was weird because there wasn't a moral problem with that for the years he was making stuff. Weird flex, but okay. Question, Doc, what happens if Abel and Cain ever meet? Sniper MTT, they get in a fight. It's just on site with those two. Real quick, Today's coffee break might end on an emergency moment because the stakeout person that I am keeping an eye on may show up at a random time. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna do the closing shtick right now. That way we do not miss out on it. I wanna make sure I cover all my bases in case I have to end this in an emergency and go chase down a perp. So real quick first though, Eris Cupido, thank you for donating again. And you asked what I think of 7429. I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head, but I will take a look on the database and see what I find. SCP-7429. Did I type something wrong? Is there not a 7429? There's not an SCP-7429, Eris Cupido. Did you happen to mean another one? Meanwhile, 729-J/SCP. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some cilantro on your way past the commissary. Hey, Doctor, start a 729-J Foundation. Oh, that's a nightmare. Oh my God, I do not want to have diplomatic communications with a foundation of those things. Disgusting. He didn't gag, faker. No, you must have missed it. The hot chip perhaps gave me some anomalous resistance to that effect. It has been actually quite nice for me to not almost vomit every time I have to mention that thing. I just hope it doesn't fade away. Okay, so ending slides first. Did you all read SCP-7454, which is the entity formerly known as Aphrodite? Because that was your homework. The entity is called Aphrodite, Goddess of Love, which is struck through, and it's changed its name to Isaac. So, first of all, 7454 is a great story, very straightforward, and very similar to 6113, which we did the previous day. I enjoy how it deals with how the Foundation would deal with an anomaly, very protocol of the Foundation, and how in that one we did a really good job of helping the anomaly with its mental health, which also aided in its containment. If you're familiar with the pasta physics division orientation on the wiki, that is another tale about how when the Foundation does right by the anomalies and doesn't just lock them away forever, it is easier to contain them and do a good job. So, I like how 7454 fits into that canon of the Foundation, taking care of anomalies' mental health to help aid in keeping them contained. Because that is a reality bender that we're containing because it's cooperating, because we're helping it out. And we could have been meaner. The Scranton reality anchors were working, it was just making the entity hella sick. And so it's nice that we found a non-painful way to keep the entity contained. Eris Cupido, I saw what you said there. I do believe it must be non-canon because there is no 7429 on the database. It is access denied, it is blocked. So you must be looking at a non-wiki site, or maybe you've got your numbers backwards. I'm not sure. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed 7454, yesterday's Pride. It's been deleted. Oh, was there an article there before? Because there isn't now. So I hope you enjoyed yesterday's Pride highlight. Now we have today's Pride highlight. Today's Pride highlight article for you guys is SCP-3915. This one is called Gay Trash Man. So that's what you're going into. Gay Trash Man. I hope you guys enjoy it. It is a nice little anomaly, nothing too crazy. And it deals with another thing that's very hard to contain, which is incorporeal entities. Teleporters, reality benders, and incorporeal entities. We hate containing those. They are such a hazard. So 3915, though, not too shabby. Go give it a read, and happy Pride to those who celebrate. Intern Xander Loves Astro, yes. Gay Trash Man is the name of the anomaly. I am now checking for Eris Cupido if I have any more intel on that anomaly they were asking about. Meanwhile, Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. My next few tests are done. The Thing has no fear of Dr. Akv, but is deeply afraid of the dark and any form of beans. More testing is needed. This is a strange anomaly that is that you're looking at. That is a strange iteration of that thing. Let's do this here. Boom! The homework is pinned. Thank you, Descavalto Clef. All right, I don't have any low donation numbers missing. That's good news. And now real quick, so I make sure to get this done before we go, remember that at the end of every stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs. Remember, this is not the end of stream, but this is the preparing for the end of stream just in case. And so, of course, I'm not going to tell you my SCPs that I wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. Of course, I love my SCPs. And if you want to read them, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP Wiki. While you're there enjoying my articles that I've either written or contributed to in other manners, you can also go become a patron of Site 42, do a monthly $1 donation minimum to get early access to all of our long-form videos, or you can become a member here on YouTube, where you can get your green name badge and emojis right out the gate at Tier 1, and you can get early access at Tier 2 and above. Either way, and you want to donate is great, and we appreciate your service in helping the Site 42 cause. And even if you can't directly donate, just by watching, liking, subscribing, all of that YouTube business, you are a member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename the Signal Boosters. And our mission is to make sure that either Site 42 gets signal boosted or the SCP projects that we signal boost do as well, such as SCP Galleonic from some studios. Make sure that if you see something we need to signal boost, like it, share it around, get people's eyes on it, because the bigger we make these SCP community projects, the more of them will get made and at higher quality. Netflix will never make an SCP show because they can't own it. It's Creative Commons. Now, that just means we have to do it ourselves. So when we get big enough, Markiplier unfathomable wealth, we are going to make some indie films and it's going to be glorious. Now, my favorite SCPs in no particular order is 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980, with a huge content warning on that last one. That one's a rough read. One more time through. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980. Content warning on the last one. Whew, and normally I would sign off now, but it seems that my target is still on lock, thankfully, so I can hang out for a little bit more. Do you read the Chinese branch? Sometimes intern cats, I do read articles from the Chinese branch, although I don't read Chinese, so the ones I read are the ones that are translated to the English language wiki. Do the numbers have any meaning for the SCPs, like how Jumba's experiment numbers have a meaning from Lilo and Stitch? So that depends on the anomaly. Sometimes they are just first come, first served numbers, and people grab whatever number is available. But very often, SCP authors will try to get articles numbered with a meaning. For instance, SCP-231 is Dr. Clef's 7 Brides of the Scarlet King anomaly. And when the reception to that article wasn't exactly how they wanted it to be, when they realized later on, okay, I want to try and write something better of that same idea, they made it 2317. And so that is the one of the first in a long line of SCP authors using similar numbers when a future SCP is a take on previous anomalies, such as Radiger's obsession with taking the 320 slot of each 1,000. 5320, 6320, 7320, and 8320 are all Radiger. So Radiger just claims those numbers. I'm not sure what the meaning of 320 is, but that's her thing. Meanwhile, 682 got a takeoff on 6820. So very often you will see those. There was, I think 8106 is a take on 106, if I'm remembering the number right. So usually that's as far as meaning of numbers go that I remember a theme of. Then you have individual numbered meanings. As Desk just put it, 8888 has something to do with all the 8s in the article. And, oh, Sniper MTT, you already read 3915. Good work. Way to do the homework early. Awesome. Or at least you started it, and that's better than nothing. Eris Cupido, thank you for donating again. Love to all. Well, all of you get love. Congratulations. Dr. Sherman, your opinions on 1471-A. The poor thing. As much as I don't like anomalies being prevalent, and so it annoys me that Mallow's app keeps getting re-uploaded and we have to keep taking it down, I'd like to have less of the entities running around, thank you. I have a soft spot for Mallow in that, God, what the internet did to that poor thing. It is just a quiet, incorporeal entity, and wow, did people get super thirsty for it. Reminder, we do not fraternize with the anomalies. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Mm-hmm. 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 If you are still looking to contain Spider-Man, oh, Intern Haynes, I am definitely still trying to contain Spider-Man. Not sure which. Using sand and water to combat Peter is effective, and keeping Miles away from or draining its bioelectricity, not his. They are anomalies, they are its. Bioelectricity would be effective. Duly noted. I'll put that in the database. We will put those webheads in a box, believe you me. Dr. Sherman, do you have any recommendation on which SCP article to read in late nights? Well, I'm going to start with 3915 because that's the homework article for today. So I would suggest that one. But other than that, one not to read at night is 1983. That one is spooky. Oh boy. 1983 kicks. It's a very simple concept. Done well, it's basically a creepypasta. How much research has been done on the Wanderer's Library, aka Serpent's Hand, home base? Well, we've done some incursions in there before. The problem is they kick us out pretty quick. So we have some intel on the database, but just not a lot. Desk says, you want night terrors, read What Comes After. Oh my gosh, 2718 doesn't just give me night terrors, it gives me existential dread for all of my walking days. That is a hideous article. It's like Roko's basilisk. It infects you with an idea and you're stuck with it for life. Eris Cupido, thank you for donating again. Opinions on 3270. Oh, the painting that turns you into a cat. Well, Artistically speaking, I think it's a fine painting. I just don't like the fact that it turns you into a cat. Because, you know, we need less people being turned into cats, please. Dr. Sherman, did you say 3915 or 3195? You talk too fast for me. Yes, my apologies for that facet of my character. I listen to all YouTube videos and podcasts at 2 times speed at a minimum. So I am used to the world going by a lot faster than most people process it. It's part of the reason I wrote SCP-5886. Sometimes I feel like Jim Biggio. So yes, the answer to your query was 3915. 3915 is today's Pride homework article, titled Gay Trash Man. It's the link that is pinned in the chat. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. What if I want to be a cat? Well, then that article right there would be your best way to do so, but I feel like you have far more limitations as a cat than you do as a human. So therefore, I don't think it would be a good idea to turn yourself into a cat, but at the end of the day, as long as you are not derelict in your duties, I guess whatever floats your boat. Are you aware of the multi-headed snake at the bottom of the library? It's on the Serpent's Hand logo and lives at the bottom of the Wanderer's Library. Actually, I know very little about the serpent at the heart of the library. That's actually a hole in my understanding. I'm usually just there to get some books. That way I can learn, you know, infinite knowledge. It would be nice, but they don't want to share because the jailers go against their ethos. Perky Goth, thank you for being a level 1 researcher for 23 months, damn. Hi, Dr. Sherman, I'm anomalous, I was in containment. Well, if you are in, oh, there's more to your comment here. I am anomalous, I was in containment, but I was good and complied with testing, and now I'm part of a mobile task force. Also, yay, caught alive, damn time zones. Congratulations on being of good enough behavior to get that benefit. That is rare indeed. Kudos. Eris Cupido, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, I hate to do a popular SCP, but what would you ask SCP-343? I feel like it simply allows all of humanity to continue as... he is God. First of all, I absolutely do not believe SCP-343 is God. I believe SCP-343 is a rampant narcissist with reality-bending powers who thinks itself to be God. So, don't get it twisted. I think that guy could do so much more and isn't. If you read the tale Divine Intervention, you will see how one alternate universe foundation dealt with 343. Spoiler alert, it was a Bsky. All right, it is about time for me to end my stakeout and pursue this anomaly. So I've got to let you guys go. Make sure to read 3915, the Gay Trash Man article for Happy Pride. You know my SCPs already because I did that closing early just in case. And so as always, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you all in the next video or stream. I still watch you when you're grooving, as if through water from the bottom of a pool. You're moving without moving, and when you move, I'm moved. You are a call to motion, They're all of you a verb in perfect view, like Jonah on the ocean. When you move, I'm moved. When you move, I'm put to mind of all that I wanna be. When you move, I can never define all that you are to me. So move me, baby. Shake like the bough of a willow tree. You do it naturally. Move me, baby.